right, well, good evening. This is Wilson, November 6 Echo Mike Foxtrot, your net control operator for the River City Arcs Slow Scan TV net. This net serves for training and practice in image transmission modes and meets Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. on the N6NA repeater on 441.30 MHz. River City Arcs members and all licensed amateur radio operators are welcome to participate. If you wish to join the net or need to make a call at any time, please announce your call sign between transmissions and net control will acknowledge you. If an emergency should arise and you need the repeater, please contact the net control by saying break break. A double break signifies emergency traffic. The net will stand by for you until the emergency traffic is terminated or the traffic is moved to another frequency. Stations who wish to check in are asked to respond with their full call sign using the recognized ITU phonetic alphabet and their name. I will recognize each station before continuing.
November 6th, Papa Golf, Quebec, Bob and Roosevelt. Alpha India, Fiddle for Golf, Joel and Lawrence.
Alright, I got Bob, November 6, Papa Golf, Quebec, Alpha India 6, Delta Golf, Joel. I've also got Neil, KL7HQR. Welcome and thank you for checking in. We're streaming YouTube live right now, so hopefully we're gathering an audience out there. Do we have any other check-ins? Alright, good evening, Ken, and thanks for joining us. N6KEN, I got you, and please recognize I'm sort of still working out the bugs on my setup here for doing net control with the YouTube studio, and there's going to be a little bit of a delay on dropout. So when I quit talking or when I end a statement, could you please wait a couple of seconds? That's a delay I'm trying to work out. I'm trying to ring out that delay, but it's probably going to take me some time to figure it out. N6EMF is net control here. I've got Bob, Joel, Neil, and Ken. Good evening. Welcome, everybody. Do we have any other check-ins? All right. Bob, if you are ready with a photo, by the way, I think everybody must have heard from Carol, KP4MD. She's a usual member of the cast, but she's got jet lag and is coming in from the southern part of the United States and is going to probably just take it easy this evening. If you are monitoring on YouTube, as a YouTube viewer, Carol, I'll say good evening to you and say something to me in the chat box and I'll respond. All right, so Bob, if you're ready with a photo, would you go right ahead?
Okay, well, I haven't tested anything, but I'm assuming that everything will work. So this is going to be DT120.
All right, Bob. I did receive a pretty much a black and white photo. Probably really is a color photo, but it's black and white. The background is the sky, a gray clouded sky. In the foreground, you've got a toppled over lattice structure communications tower. It looks like, if I'm able to discern accurately, this looks like a bent over communications tower with maybe some ladder line on standoffs on to one side of the tower. I got a few pixel pops throughout the photo, but it isn't too bad. I can definitely discern, and clarity is fairly good. So nice photo, nice work. Can't wait to hear about it. Let me turn it over to Joel, AI6DG. Joel, AI6DG, would you like to let us know whether or not you were able to copy, and give me just 1 second of a pause, remember.
How long is long enough? Let's see if this is... So I first was looking at it, I was thinking, crane accident. Going a little further, that doesn't look strong, big enough, robust enough to be a crane. Ham radio, it's a tower. So we've got kind of an upside down V down the center of the photo, and I can see that it's probably a crank up tower. I don't know if it looks like it's standalone. I don't see any guys. At least nothing that's obviously guys. I see a bottom section coming up, and then another section going up, and then it V's back down, and I see another section and another section. I see going up and then down, there's coax and standoffs. I don't think it's ladder line. It's probably coax, and it's just standoffs to keep them away from the tower. I don't know if there's more tower below that we just don't see, and I can't really tell what's on top. Standoff. There might be a boom, or is that a standoff, or part of an antenna? We're just missing what's actually on the top of the tower down to cut off on the bottom. So I can't tell what was on top, but sad day for someone. Was it just bad luck, a puff of wind at the wrong time? Is this post-Hurricane Ida, Tornado Alley results? Look forward to hearing. Back to Net, AI6DG.
All right, nice one, Neil. Nice to hear that you were able to copy the photo, and nice work. So let's hear from let's see, Ken, November 6 Kilo Echo November. Hello again, Ken. Go right ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, N6NA and 100% copy on that picture from Bob. I would agree that with Joel, that it is a very sad-looking tower, and that's a lot of money spent over accident.
All right, very good, Ken. Glad to hear you were able to copy. Did we have any other check-ins, any late check-ins? I miss hearing from Anders, K3REH rather. And if he's not in, we'll just keep going. And so, any other late check-ins? All right, Bob. Well, you get to tell us, if you will, what this photo is all about. I'm in suspense right now. Go right ahead, Bob. N6PGQ, N6EMF, net control.
Okay, well, let's start out with the picture. It was a color picture, as you could tell from the call sign that's in the upper right-hand corner. But this picture was taken on a very gray, overcast February day. And this is not Tornado Alley. This is in my backyard, and that is my tower. Unfortunately, it was a vertical picture that to fit in
this low scan format, you had to change it to horizontal. So what you don't see on the left side at the bottom is a very bent DB18 stepper antenna. And what you do see at the top is the middle of the tower. It kind of tweaked and fell over. Anyway, it's mine, and that was last February. And Tuesday, a few days ago, actually last week, Thursday, the repaired tower arrived back at my QTH, and you didn't call on Neil because he's seen this thing and he would have known exactly what it is. So that's mine, and it's back in the world of the living, and I checked into the 10-meter net and looking forward to CQP this weekend, N6PGQ.
Well, all right. Well, thank you very much, Bob, and congratulations on getting your tower back up. And you know what? I do apologize to Neil, KL7HQR. I missed calling on him for a copy report on the photo, and I hope you forgive me, Neil. But we go way back, don't we? Don't we go back? We go way back, so you're not going to punch me in the gut over this one. But I just have my hands full with the net control and running the YouTube stream, so a little bit of a distraction. I'll try to do better next round, and for that, I still want to offer Neil an opportunity to comment. So net control is asking Neil to comment. Were you able to copy the photo after all?
KL784. No problem, my friend. That happened. I remember that Daryl used to say that she was very busy when she was doing both flags there, so no problem at all. Yes, I copied the picture. I comparing to what I see on YouTube. It is pretty close. Very few artifacts, primarily on the bottom part of the picture. It's a pity that, like Bob said, you did not see the antenna. But yeah, it was a very sad day. But quite sure I hope that Bob today or next week will have a chance to show the new and improved tower. And he did not tell you that this is a 75-foot tower, motorized, and so it's quite a beast. And it's back in operation again. And Bob, if you can hear me, I'm going to need actually that happened. My picture that I took was the 5th of February, so I know you have anything before. So anyway, good copy. Back to the KL7HQR.
All right, well, let's see. So, Neil, I'm going to assign you lunch. You're going to have to bring lunch to Bob's house for a production test. How's that? So, Bob, one question is, were you on the air for the HF net tonight? Were you on the 10-meter net?
Yes, I was, and my antenna was up in the air. For some reason, my portable worn out vertical 10-meter antenna is not working real well, so it needs the next repair session. So we'll get to that when I remember. I mentioned to Neil I have a really terminal case of CRF. So when I remember to fix the antenna, I'll fix it. N6NA.
All right, well, that's wonderful news, Bob, and I apologize. I think I thought for some reason I heard you on the air, but I was trying to prepare for Slow Scan TV Net and was multitasking and was not fully engaged in the 10-meter net, but I did check in and I thought I heard you. But anyway, congratulations, and let's go around the table and have a round of applause for Bob getting his antenna back up.
Not here, but I'm applauding you, KL7HQR.
All right, well, very good. Does anybody have any? This is such an important milestone for the team, and for the club, for Bob, one of the guy's getting his antenna back up. So did we have any follow-up comments or questions for Bob before I move on to the next photo?
Yeah, this is N6KN. Hey Bob, just curious if was it just high winds or a structural defect that caused it to fail, or do you know what the issue was?
Well, that's a really long story. It may be a good River City Arts presentation when we get back to our in-house meetings, N6PGQ. I'll leave it at that.
Problem.
Well, all right. Any other comments for Bob before I close out the photo? Nice work, Bob. Well, all right. Well, thank you. I think we got everybody on. I'm really happy to hear about this. Can't say it enough. But so Joel, AI6DG, if you are ready to send a photo, to tell us what you got and which mode you got, and go right ahead. N6EMF.
Was there tone?
Yeah, yes, affirmative. You've got tone. Wait 1 second and go right ahead.
PD 120.
Well, all right. I won't start by extracting any fun just yet, and for paying respects to Neil, making sure I don't forget him this time. KL7HQR, I'll call on you and ask if you were you able to copy the photo. I can say that I was able to copy the photo.
Scale 7HQR, yes, definitely copy, beautiful copy. It looks like the PayPals are very quiet today, very few artifacts. Very colorful. It looks like it is the inside of what I would assume to be either a museum or a mall. And if it is a mall, it's a very fancy one. It looks like it may have been taken with a special kind of lens, or the building itself is a little bit angular, because we see a big, what appears to be a big window, very tall, covering about 2 or 3 floors. Some statues slash sculptures as columns, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them at least. Very colorful lighting on the top floor, the middle, and the 3rd floor all the way on the bottom. It looks like we're right by an escalator, and a very nice composition, very nice picture. Curious where it is, if it was a special lenses or if the building is really in that shape. So very good copy. Back to that.
All right. Thank you very much, Neil. I pretty much echo the same comments. I have a few pixel pops. You can, if you're watching YouTube, you can see what I see, and pretty good color spectrum, fairly sharp for the amount of detail and color involved, and a few pixel pops. And I did have to do a slant correction, and I think that's just a problem on my end. I need to get addressed with the timing. So thank you very much, Neil. I will turn it over to Bob, N6PGQ. Were you able to copy as well?
Yeah, I was able to copy as well. It looks like on the left side, what looks like either a statue or maybe a curtain of some kind made out of, plaster or whatever they made it. It's obviously a fairly new building, or at least it looks like that to me. Looks like a mall that is obviously not at Arden Fair, and I think Neil covered it real well. I'd like to go visit that place. N6PGQ.
Well, all right, let's close our eyes and imagine we're going there. We'll be hearing from Joel in just a few minutes. Thank you very much, Bob. How about Ken, November 6, Kilo Echo November? Were you able to copy as well?
Yeah, this is November 6th, Kilo Echo November, and 100% copy. And because I know where Joel normally goes for his annual pilgrimage, this is very familiar. This is the Forum Shops at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas.
Oh wow, he's got him. Oh, it sounds wonderful. It almost makes me hungry. I'm looking for some festivities and some food now. So yeah, thanks for that, Ken. Nice one. And let's see, did I catch everybody? I've got 4 check-ins, and I think I can turn it over to Joel now. Joel, OI6DG, would you like to tell us about your photo?
Ding, 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 ding. Ken got it. Yes, Vegas and Caesar's Forum Shops. So why do you go to Vegas? You don't just go to Vegas for the gambling. People also go there for the shows, the food, and the shopping. And there's lots of big shopping centers with very expensive stuff in them. And this is the front part of the Caesar's Forum Shops, which is attached to the Caesar's Resort. And it's right on the Strip. So just outside those windows is the Strip. And I think you can kind of see Flamingo or Link out the window if you know what you're looking at. And I have to admit, this is distorted. This is actually a panorama, So this is stretched about 50% top to bottom. So squeeze the top and bottom, squeeze everything together, and the proportions start looking right. But I just wanted to get everything in a full size and not have that letterbox movie effect. And it actually turned out pretty well. It makes it look actually a little bit better and more impressive that some of the stuff is distorted. So the front part of this forum is you walk in and this is what you've got. And this is just looking out. It's even more impressive if you're one floor down and looking at it. It's 3 stories tall. You can see on the floor, and then in the middle, kind of wrapping around, is the second floor, and then straight looking across is the third floor. At the very top of the photo, you can kind of see a balcony with rails, but that's not for people. That's just decorative and maybe protection for workers that for some reason have to go up there and dust. So you've got these statues. There's actually 4 of them. There's 2 of them facing us, and there's one on the extreme right. And that curtain to the extreme left is another statue. And as you can see, they're like a story and a half tall. I doubt that any of the decorative pillars or stonework here is real. It's probably all painted over styrofoam or something like that, but it looks really good. The colorful, I think, is you're just normal light, but it's the paving or whatever they did for the flooring. It's really nice. And the really nice stuff, the really nice stores are not this close to the strip, although that's kind of deceiving because there is a Leica camera store down on the first floor where nothing's cheaper than $1,000. But the Gucci and Gabbana and I don't know what those fancy fashion houses are, but they're all a little bit further back in the mall. Let's see, what else can I say? One thing I've got to say is there's a little fountain at the bottom that you can't see from here. And that escalator that you kind of see at the extreme bottom, it's not straight. It curves. It does a 180-degree curve. It shoots out, curves around, and it goes to the second floor to the third floor on the same phase. It goes 180 degrees, turns to the left as it goes up one floor. I've never seen curved escalators before, but there's a few places in Vegas where you have those, and this is one of them. And it's an amazing mall, but it's not even that fancy or big compared to some of the others in Vegas. You could spend your retirement fund in these stores. It's crazy nice. But I suppose that's the other way of describing Vegas in general. Back on that day, I used to see TV.
Hey, Joel, a curved escalator. That's a new one on me. I've never seen one. I think that would be a nightmarish maintenance. That'd be a maintenance and reliability nightmare. Anyway, you talk about those high-end shops. Well, I guess all we need in there is an HRO or something like that. We need a place where we can go look at the highest-end radio electronics. We need an HRO, and we'd love to see Ken there because we know that Ken is an HRO guy. So anyway, thanks for sharing this wonderful photo. Things I've never seen before. In fact, anyway, I've haven't seen this, and I've only been to Vegas probably 3 times in my life. One of those on business. So anyway, shows how much I know. But I do appreciate the photo and sharing a little bit of background. And since it's really so interesting and rich, I was wondering if anybody has any follow-up comments. I know we can count on at least one follow-up. Come on now. Well, all right. If no follow-ups, let me give a shout-out to the YouTube viewers. We have Alf Gonzo. Welcome, Alf. Thanks for checking in on the viewer side. And Alf is keep losing track of his call sign. Alf, my apologies. Anyway, Alf talks about an echo. Some of the folks that are checked in here on the net are sometimes having an echo. So if anyone observes an echo, let's please talk about it, and we'll go for it. So yeah, KN6PRD, that was Alf. Thank you, Alf. And we also have Craig, WP2N. He's online, and Carol jumped on the chat, and she wanted to say that the net seemed like it was going good, and she wanted to say hello and good night at the same time. I would assume that Carol's probably out by now. All right, so thanks for that. And if you guys want to check in on echo, did anybody else in the net observe any echoes?
No echoes. I do hear some noise. Can't sit, but I hear you well. Just noise, no echoes.
I wonder if the echo is just on the YouTube side. I'm not listening to the YouTube audio, just the computer.
Quite possible that there's an echo issue with my my settings, and I've got some things with my settings to investigate. I suspect there's some things I can improve there, but I just, from week to week, I really don't have enough time. So sometimes I end up carrying the same problems week after week, and that's not how I like to do it, but that's what I got. So thanks for the feedback, and I guess what I'll do is go back through and listen to the YouTube tonight or tomorrow when I get some time and see if I can observe what they're referring to. So yeah, thanks for the comment, and let me see. Let me go ahead and turn it over to Ken if he's ready to. Let me go back to Neil. Neil, if you're ready to transmit a photo, KL7HQR, please go ahead. Well, all right, Neil. I was able to copy your photo and some landscape, probably aerial photography. possibly in the snow. I see an inset photograph with a helicopter in its background on the ground, and as well as two people in cold weather gear. I see maybe mittens or gloves and jackets and possibly hats. And I surmise you're probably one of those. So I will turn over some of the fun to Bob in Roseville in N6PGQ. Bob, are you able to copy the photo?
Absolutely. I was able to copy the photo, and I have no clue what it is. You know, you can see the people in the bottom corner. It may be Neil and his wife, but who knows? This may be, I'm going to guess like mad, it may be ice or something to that effect, or it could be a highway. I don't know. I can't tell. And I'm not good at guessing. N6PGQ.
All right. Well, Bob, thanks for that comment, and glad to see that you were able to copy the photo. So that's one of the main things. It's practice for image transmission, and the fact that you got it is half of the battle. So that's half of the fun. We'll be hearing from Neil pretty soon. Joel, AI6DG, were you able to copy?
Excellent reception, just a few pops. I just a couple days ago put an RF choke on my on the cable, the data port cable on the radio, and I was hoping that the moire would go away, but I see a slight moire, so that doesn't make sense anyway, because that would only protect it when I'm transmitting, and this is receiving. So, oh well, good idea. So between the KL7 and the two very bundled up people, and they're standing on ice or snow in front of a helicopter. So I'm guessing that they went on a helicopter ride to over a glacier in Alaska, because that looks like a hurricane. A glacier with crevasses and all the rock debris in it that forms the terminal moraine when it melts, and lateral moraines and so forth. It's a little unusual to see it so twisty like that, but I'm assuming that it's in a canyon or valley that's twisting like that. So I hope you got lots of good pictures, because this isn't, we could do better than this. But regardless, I'm sure you had a great time on the trip. Back to Net AI6DG.
All right. Well, thanks for that, Joel. Appreciate the signal or the picture report, and we're getting close. So let's see. That was Neil's photo, and we'll turn it over to Ken. November 6 Kilo Echo November. Were you able to copy as well, Ken?
Yeah, 100% copy, and I was going to guess Alaska as well, aerial photography, and Joel's probably right, it's probably a glacier. I was thinking it looked more like some type of river coming down with frozen ice coming down it, but that was my guess. Hopefully at least I got the Alaska part right. Back to the net.
Well, all right. Yeah, thanks, Ken, for the update and for your signal report. We call it a signal report, but it's really a copy report, maybe. So, Neil, KL7HQR, would you like to give a narrative, give an update, give us all the information you've got on the photo?
Scale 7HQR. Well, Joel, as always, was right on the nose, and this is the Mendenhall Glacier, just outside of Juneau. With my 4 years in Alaska with the Air Force, I flew over many glaciers and all kinds of different heights. This is the first time that we actually touched down on one. It was a very rainy and very hazy day. Still VFR, but we got into a flight of 3 helicopters, 6 passengers and a pilot in each of them, and we flew from the Juneau Airport over the glacier and had a long flight over the glacier, and then came back and landed at a specific spot. They spent about half an hour there with a guide, being instructed, about the different crevasses and all the different characteristics of the glacier. Quite impressive. This big picture is a snapshot of the video, one of the videos that I took, taken through the plexiglass in a helicopter before we landed. And of course, with all the humidity of 6 people, the plexiglass was all puffed up. Quite severe to actually see it. But it was quite an adventure. And myself and my wife, on those out, they were right with special boots to walk on the ice. And have many other pictures. I made it where to put the little picture in the bottom because it would be a giveaway. I couldn't do this. Anyway, great adventure and a great fun. You'll have many go out there.
Wow, I'll tell you, I'm just can never cease to be inspired by some of these wonderful photos that I see on Slow Scan TV. Flying over a glacier and a helicopter with your wife. I mean, that's got to be one of the most adventurous and romantic scenarios I can think of. So my hat goes off to you for having lived living a full life, a full romantic and adventurous life. How's that? So, good stuff. Do we want to go circle back around the horn for some additional comments, Bob or Joel or Ken? Any additional comments on this one?
Sorry, Joel. I'm not as good a photographer as you are. I'm quite sure you could have gotten some incredible shot of it, but I do have some taken of looking on the ground, on the ice, that would be better.
All right. Well, nice work, Neil. And again, very nice work. And you fought to obtain a really good perspective here. So nice job. I think I'm going to go ahead and send my photo. I'm going to cut in line and send something. It's not going to be nearly as interesting, but I have something to send. So let's see if I can get it out. 1 second. N6EMF will send a test signal, and then I'll listen for that, and we'll go from there. Was I able to get tone out?
Roger on the tone, quick copy.
Go ahead, Joel.
The composition on the photo is nice. That you've got the curves kind of centered. But I would have liked to have seen a little more, not so zoomed in, a little more wide. You see the contact. Back to the NDIC.
Well, all right. Let me say thanks for that comment. It would have been interesting to see the full arc. I'm going to go ahead and transmit my photo, and here it comes, PD. PD. Uh-oh. That was not good. 1 second. Let me try something here. I've got a little bit of a glitch with PD 120, and I think it's going to go now. So stand by. I'll just turn it over to Bob, N6PGQ. Were you able to copy?
Well, my computer didn't start up right on time, so I may be missing some of it. So we have a textbook right in the left corner, and looks like the first page of the book is the table of contents, and section number 21 on electronics with a diagram of what probably is an electron tube of some kind. So anyway, it came out real well, except for starting off late, and I have only about 2/3 of the picture. N6PGQ.
All right. Well, we'll hang in there, Bob, and thank you for your report. AI6DG, Joel, were you able to copy?
Excellent reception, with the exception of my usual array pattern, which has definitely not gone away. The dark binding of the book on the upper left makes that clear. A few of the usual noise pops. We've got 4 photos in quad, upper left, upper right, lower left, lower right. Handbook of Applied Mathematics, 3rd edition. The bottom of the binding, there's the bar with the repeater ID, and like it's been said, we've got a content page. I guess it could be the first page, and then state-of-the-art, brand new fancy tubes, starting in electronics, section XI 2021. In other words, 21, not 2021. 221. And we look at this with this kind of sticker behind our teeth, but imagine in 80 years what they'll be thinking of the computers and the phones and all the fancy electronics we have in our cars these days. Oh, look at those primitive cars. They don't even have hyperlab. But where's the quantum computer with the AI? Technology doesn't sit still. Back to net, the N6NA.
All right. Thanks for that, Joel. Appreciate your comments and glad you were able to copy the photo. And let me turn it over to Neil. Neil, were you able to copy as well?
Yeah, N6NA, yes, copied very well, to the point that I can read Rasmus Jensen there, apparently the author, and 3rd edition. So it's kind of interesting that the tube that they show there, I seem to remember that particular tube. So it cannot be that old. Good copy, very good picture. Interested in knowing exactly what the background is. N6NA.
All right. Well, Neil, you're kind, so thank you very much. N6KEN. Ken, were you able to copy? All right, and I don't think you were able to make it into the repeater okay just that last time. Did you want to try again? N6EMF net control, calling Ken K or N6KEN.
Copy right now.
All right. Well, it sounds like Ken was able to copy, and what I'll do is I'll just describe what this is all about, and we'll circle back to Ken and see if he'll be ready to send a photo after this. All right. So, sort of the theme behind this photograph from Net Control tonight is I've been struggling to find photographs, and I've got this little side project where I'm going to try to have more interesting photographs to show, but I really have some work to do in that regard. I can scan some historical photographs, but just don't have a lot on hand. So I thought the theme for tonight for me would be to pick the oldest book, the oldest printed book in my possession, and it happened to be this one. and this one I inherited from a cousin, from an elder first cousin that passed away a few years ago, and his wife invited me to go into his home office and pick anything out of his office for memorabilia. Well, I grabbed a few things, and this was one of them. And anyway, this book was purchased from the North Oakland Library in 1955 because it was placed into obsolescence, and I think he must have bought it there in Oakland in 1955. But anyway, this book was first published in 1933. So that's the long story short. It's a handbook of applied mathematics, and it has some really amazing chapters in there. Without going into all the details, though, I mean, it even covers basic stuff like arithmetic, and we laugh, but kids aren't taught arithmetic the way we were, and they can't divide, and they don't add and subtract the way we do. So I say we for anybody who was born maybe after 1990 is probably the cutoff for the way they're educated in math. But anyway, this stuff covers like shop and HVAC, electronics, and brickwork and concrete and everything else. So I was impressed by it, and it's the oldest printed book I have in my possession right now. So there you go. That's the history and the story behind this, and it's 9:54, and we have one more photograph to go through. And before we do that, do we have any questions or comments? Well, Ken, if you're ready to transmit a photo, please go right ahead.
Before I transmit, am I making the repeater now?
You're doing great, Ken. Thank you.
Okay, sorry about that. My antenna connection kind of came loose a little bit or something happened to it, but I'll check it out now. And here comes my photo. I'm going to click continue.
Well, Ken, if you can hear me, I could see a pretty good photo. Quite a bit of overall noise, but I see a kind of a drawing of a kid with a set of headphones seated at a high back chair, maybe at a table. with probably talking or listening to the radio or something. But I see a grandfather clock, a miniature grandfather clock hung on the wall off to the side, and this whole thing is inside of an oval-shaped frame with a white background. So overall, a pretty fun-looking picture, probably from the 70s or before. It looks like the vintage, considering the overall theme. But Ken, nice photo, and I'd like to hear what others think of it. N6PGQ, Bob, would you go ahead and give a copy report?
Most of it. I don't know whether the clock is a rotary pendulum clock or a standard pendulum. I can't tell real well. He's obviously listening to his radio. I have a radio like that sitting on the floor that I don't know what to do with. And whoever did the drawing, I believe, signed it in the upper right corner at about 2 o'clock. And I can't make it out. And we, of course, had the repeater ID almost exactly halfway through the picture. A lot of pixel pops on the thing, but very nice, nice picture there, N6PGQ.
All right. Well, thanks for that update, Bob. How about Neil, KL7HQR? Were you able to copy?
A really good copy. As a matter of fact, I've been getting a lot of SSTV on HF, and this in HF would be an extremely good picture. So, but with the noise that came in on Ken's signal, this was really a good copy. The clock shows, I think, 6:45, and I don't know if that is significant or not. The expression on the young man is extremely interesting. If it is a small kid, he looks like his mother just made him try some what was it? The cod liver oil. Or if he was listening to the radio to classical music, I think all of a sudden they threw in a heavy metal. It's not a happy face, but good copy. Back to Net, KL7H.
All right, I love it. Thank you for that, Neil. Okay, Joel, AI6DG, were you able to copy?
It's always amazing the reception quality that you can get even under low signal conditions. I mean, there was a lot of noise, and there is a lot of noise in the picture, but not as much as you would think having listened to it to come across. And I look at it, and we've got a white background with N6KEN in the upper left, and a bar kind of through the middle from when the repeater ID. And but it's an oval, so I was thinking, okay, it's just an aspect ratio thing. It's supposed to be a circle. But then I look at the clock, and the clock face seems to be a circle. So maybe it was an oval, and it would have been a pendulum, back and forth pendulum. It wouldn't be a rotating, because I've only ever seen that type of clock on mantle clocks, not wall clocks. But it looks to me to be intended to be from the radio on the table looks to me like from the teens or the 20s. I mean, really old style. And so it's a little kid listening to the radio with headphones on, little cable coming down, going across the table into the radio. Don't see the front of it, so we can't really see what the dials are. And yeah, interesting expression. It's like he's just tasted something terrible. He's squinting, he's sticking his tongue out, and his fingers that's what's weird. He's got his hands up and he's got his fingers extended, kind of pointing towards the radio. It's like he's trying to incantation it out of existence, or away from me, get away from me type of thing. So what is he listening to, and what did he just hear? That's my mystery I'd like to hear about. Back to Net, AI6DG.
Yes, it's almost like Neil said cod liver oil. Maybe it's dinner time, or maybe the kid is playing a prank on the air somehow. So I think I got everybody. Let me hear from Ken. November 6 Kilo Echo November. Ken, would you like to give a narrative on how you did with this photo?
Yeah, no problem. And I don't, I'm not surprised that there's a lot of noise. I can see it on the YouTube side. My antenna is quite compromised at the moment, so it's not the best to signal into the repeater. And I normally have a hard time getting into this repeater to begin with. But anyway, this photo is a young boy in front of an old radio with a headset on, and he's basically sticking his tongue out to whoever was taking the picture. This image, actually, I first saw this image back around probably 86, 87, when I was first licensed. Got QST magazine, and in there was QSL companies that produce QSL cards, and if you sent them a letter and I think a couple bucks, they would send you a sample of all their QSL cards. And so I actually received this gentleman, Kilo Sierra 1 Juliet, KS1J's QSL card back then, and it had this picture on it. Of course, it was black and white. And so I always had that QSL card, because if I ever had QSL cards made, I wanted to use this image. And so if you go to my QRZ page, you'll see it's there, and KS1J still has it on his QRZ page.
Well, all right. Thanks for the explanation, and sorry for the delay. I've got my hands full here, but appreciate the photo. Lots of fun. I appreciate the fun. Anything beats a stuffy old applied mathematics book. So keep them coming, and I appreciate you hanging in there, Ken, even with the compromised antenna. That's the spirit. Appreciate that. So any other follow-up comments or questions? Well, all right. We had a pretty good discussion out there on the YouTube live chat, and that was fun. I tried to keep that going, as well as the net control function, as well as just handle the whole process. There's a lot of moving parts, and since I'm a scatterbrains, it works really well for me. So I try to do it all anyway, so might as well do this. Anyway, I do appreciate all the photos, and it's been lots of fun. I think what I neglected to mention is that Anders didn't make the check-in tonight, but he did say hello on the live chat. So hi to Anders, and I want to thank everybody out there on YouTube that's viewing us tonight, and just say thanks for checking in and checking us out. For now, I'm going to get ready to close the net out. And I'll say thanks to all who participated in tonight's SSTV Net. We hope to see you again next Wednesday at 9 o'clock p.m. For now, the net is officially closed at 10:06 p.m. Pacific Time. This is Wilson, November 6 Echo Mike Foxtrot, wishing all of you a good evening. Appreciate all the photos. 73. Good night.
Good night, young man. Good job. KO7HQR clip.
73, y'all.
All right, Neil, thank you for the feedback, and good night.